Hello, everybody. My name is Emily. I am from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm here today to talk about building a metaphorical bridge between humans and animals. Did you know that there are millions of domestic animals all over the world that face torture, abuse, neglect, starvation, and exposure each year? Millions. A large percentage of these animals will end up living on the streets and will never know the comfort of a home. Every Living Thing, ELT for short, was established in 2016. It is a non-profit organization that exists to rescue animals faced from this tragic fate from the streets of Dar es Salaam. I moved here a little over 2 years ago to work with ELT. It was supposed to be a 3-month stint of consulting, but it turned into a 2 years and apparently counting journey of a lifetime. What initially got me hooked is ELT has around 150 rescue dogs and about 100 rescue cats. Unlike any other shelter I have seen around the world, not one of the animals at ELT is kept in a cage. They are grouped into sections, but within those sections, they are free to roam around and are as happy as ever. And I know what you're all thinking. How in the world could anyone have that many animals? Well, when they're happy and well taken care of, they're somewhat easy to handle. Lots of food and 24-hour staff is highly recommended. All jokes aside, ELT exists because a gap in Tanzania needed to be filled. With limited resources came a lack of education regarding animal welfare, which leads to a lack of understanding or empathy for beings that are different from us. Before ELT, there were minimal resources for animals in need, and further minimal resources for humans wanting to help animals in need. Many people around the world still have misconceptions about animals and their behavior, and further have yet to recognize that animals have feelings, emotions, and desires similarly to human beings. Just like us, animals want many of the same things: food, love, the occasional cuddle, and comfortable and safe shelter. To help change perspectives, we must come to the realization that we are not so different from these beings. Pet owners in the audience, raise your hands. That's it? Only 1? 2? Crazy. Wow, 3. That's crazy. Okay, well, for the 4 of us in the room, I'm sure we can all agree that having a pet is the best thing that's ever happened to us. Having a pet is like having a furry best friend that follows you around, is extremely happy to see you, like overwhelmingly happy to see you when you come home from school or work, and just loves you unconditionally, always. Having a pet cat or dog also helps you to form a deeper understanding for the needs and wants of these animals. It is having a pet that creates empathy for animals within oneself. For those of you in the audience that have never had a pet or have never had any interaction with an animal, you can pay close attention to these slides. You will see each and every dog in these slides has different interests, different personalities, different tastes in foods, and more, just like us. These beginning slides are some of our rescues when they first come into the center. And as you can see, they're just covered in mange, they're emaciated, they're sick, and they're sad. They look broken. But as we carry on to the process of rehabilitation, you see their eyes start to brighten up. They become happy. They start to smile. Like they have this face where their mouths open and they're physically smiling. But you see these little guys, like they're just heartbroken and lost, and all they want is love. Dogs especially. Dogs have a really hard time holding a grudge, and they really, really rely on human contact. Cats are a little bit easier. They can kind of fend for themselves in the street, but it's important that they are fed and they find comfortable and safe shelter. That dog that was covered in mange in the last post, that's her now. It's incredible, the transformation. Anywho, I myself have always been an animal lover. I was raised with dogs, birds, bunnies, hamsters, cats, you name it. And my parents also raised my sisters and I vegetarian. They wanted us to know growing up that it was extremely important to be kind to animals. That being said, in Canada, we're extremely sheltered. Most forms of animal abuse are hidden. It wasn't until I turned 16 when I watched the documentary Earthlings that I truly understood the tragic lives domestic and farm animals face. Earthlings is a documentary with a plethora of information. It's about pets, food, clothes, everything to do in every way that we exploit animals. It's extremely sad. am going to be honest, it's really tragic. So if you're an animal lover, it will probably break your heart as it did mine. But the hardest part after watching Earthlings was me going home every day being like, what can I do to make a difference? About 5 years ago, I traveled through Bali, Indonesia, and saw every street corner littered with sick, injured, abused, stray dogs. I was overwhelmed with anxiety, thinking that I would never be able to help them. In hindsight, there's so much I could have done for those lives that needed saving. And since working with ELT and meeting the people that have set literally every other goal aside to improve the lives of domestic animals, I now recognize that we all have the power within us to be the change the world needs to see. How many times have we said to ourselves, I am just one person, how can I make a difference? How could I possibly be the change the world needs to see as just one human being? Well, it takes only one person to be a catalyst for change. One person to trailblaze the path for others to help make the world a better place. Educating oneself and informing your peers of the knowledge you've acquired to do some good in this world turns one person into many people, and so on. There is a domino effect. It has been a challenging year for all of us with the COVID-19 pandemic, and what we need to do now more than ever is to come together and help bring more peace and love into this world, and the best way to do that is to be kind to one another, humans and animals alike. Working with animals, more specifically in the field of animal rescue, is nothing short of fulfilling, rewarding, and at times heartbreaking. Every living thing has taught me to build a bridge and make a connection between myself and animals in ways I didn't realize I was capable of. Sometimes it takes pushing yourself way out of your comfort zone, and in my case, working an extremely unconventional job extremely far away from home, but it makes me happiest, because in my opinion, there is nothing more rewarding in this life than kindness. Thank you.